There's roughly 1.4 billion people in China, and we've identified at least 3 of them now playing on TYLOO, who will be now moving on to take on the likes of HellRaisers here at the StarSeries Season 6. Of course, I've had to ask these guys to put the Tinder down for a second and really get things going here on the desk. And perhaps you should put down Tinder too, and pay attention to what we're going to say here in the pre-match of what is at least my last game of the day, guys.
We got Counter-Strike to talk about, not Tinder, so there's more important things in the world.
Which one do you consider you're a subject matter expert on more, Chad? Counter-Strike or Tinder?
Counter-Strike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still learning a little bit about Tinder.
Yeah, I've been playing Counter-Strike for 15 years. I haven't been playing Tinder for anywhere near that long.
It's a little bit shorter.
But Trace, punishment for telling the truth is what makes us lie. And in this scenario, I can't lie that we have HellRaisers and TYLOO, 2 teams who impressed at the major, both 0-1 to kick this bad boy off. I think the upsetting one was maybe the HellRaisers lost. TYLOO, I expected them to lose.
I wouldn't say I expected TYLOO to lose, but it wasn't a big surprise as the fact that HellRaisers lost yesterday.
Yeah.
I agree. It hasn't been like, I think there's a lot of teams coming out from the major who did well. Complexity is one of them, obviously, who haven't been doing so well after the major. It may be one of those scenarios where you have so much pressure on you during the major, you're focusing so much on the major, and you're practicing obviously a lot up to the major, so you allow yourself to take a little bit of time off, both mentally and also playing wise, leading into a tournament like this. So maybe it's one of those scenarios where HellRaisers just need to kickstart themselves, need to have a good experience, and then find that a little ahead of the major again. Whereas for Complexity, for that matter, it may be just the real level shining through.
Let's talk about HellRaisers, and by doing that, let's start off by naming the roster. In case you're just watching your first CS tournament, in case you're just tuning in now, it's going to be the likes of Angel, Dead Fox, Woxic, Issa, and of course, delivering the Bondic into this matchup at least. Let's talk a little bit about this team and what problems have perhaps plagued them up to this point.
I don't know if problems have plagued them. There was a period of time where they were a bit of a poaching ground for other teams, like the Mouse Sports of the world. The Stars were getting taken, and they were, I guess, getting to come up through this school of Angel and Jonta as the coach. And if you look at historically all the really good players who have played on HellRaisers, there's so many names: Adren, Dozier, Simple, I think Flamey.
Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar was on there. Flamey was in Flipside. I'm confusing the two. But this has been a nurturing ground for the talent of tomorrow. And Voxic and Issa are 2 of these players who have stepped up. But on the other side of things with TYLOO Trace, there's 2 players, and it's the Indonesians who are the stars in Bentet and Excurate.
Yes, Bentet, Excurate. Excurate?
I'm saying Excurate.
Excurate. You don't want to get it wrong. Don't want to have...
you don't want to say excrement.
Yeah, that's definitely not what we're saying. But yes, alongside them would be DD, Captain Mo, and not anybody, but somebody.
Yeah, so Captain Mo actually named himself Captain Mo because he is the captain. He used to just be Mo.
But now, since they put him on the throne and wheeled him around...
I'm the captain now.
That's a cool idea.
I mean, he did get a throne.
Well, this was before the wheelchair incident. But anyway, these guys at the major finally broke through. The first time that a team from Asia has been able to make it to the top 16 of a major. And they did that off some very brawly Counter-Strike, right? Let's be honest. Let's not beat around the bush here. These guys have 3 maps that they can play proficiently. That's Inferno, Mirage, and Cache. The rest of their map pool is very weak, very flat, and their style of CS really hasn't... I like the fact that it's different. I like the fact that it's not, the same as what we're seeing out of all the top teams in the world. But if they could just fix their bloody anti-ecos, these guys could be pretty sick.
The thing is, those anti-ecos come from the problem with the communication, which we have outlined 100 times by now. They are 2 Indonesian people and 3 Chinese people on this team as well, and they don't speak the same language, right? So they speak in 2 different languages, and then they have a translator and Bentet on the team as well. So in that regard, it's super, super tough to have a fluent communication going on a team like TYLOO when you don't speak the same language. We saw that at the minor as well, and at the major for that matter. We were standing behind them and listening to how they were translating to each other. It's chaotic, it's chaos, and that's why they are so bad in those anti-eco situations, and also why they make so many, what I would classify as silly and dumb mistakes.
Well, netting them in this Swiss stage, or at least this portion of it, would be the maps they played already. It'd be Cache against Imperial. We saw in a 16-11 here, HellRaisers falling to the likes of them. And then over on TYLOO, losing to Ints 16-6 on Inferno, which leads me to question you guys, where are we playing today?
I think TYLOO should ban overpass here. I don't think that... Oh, never mind. I didn't even see that Nuke wasn't gone yet. Both teams not big fans of Nuke by any means. So it's surprising that it was floated this long. HellRaisers definitely bluffed in the veto there, but it's a fair bluff. Overpass favors HellRaisers something cruel here. TYLOO have just been destroyed in this veto.
I don't get that at all. Why TYLOO would allow Overpass to be the map.
Well, here's the thing. They had to ban Dust 2 because HellRaisers play that, and HellRaisers baited them or floated that nuke ban, right? If TYLOO had some balls, they would have left it between Nuke and Cache as the last 2 maps.
Exactly.
But they didn't want to get punished on that map. But they should have taken the risk, right? That's a risk you have to take, especially when you're 0-1 down.
And you're the underdog in the matchup as well.
Look at all that green.
Oh my goodness. All the green over on the side of HellRaisers, Imperial, North, TYLOO, Cloud9, and Gambit. Wow. Quite the roster list of names taken there.
It's been a while since I've seen any team being outplayed that much in a veto process, especially in a best of one. Normally, you always end up on some sort of middle ground where both teams are comfortable with the map and both teams thinks, all right, if we just play our game, we're going to win this one. But in this scenario, as you can see on the screen right now, 87.5% win rate over the last 3 months for HellRaisers, according to 20% for TYLOO. There's a big difference right here, and they definitely were outplayed in this veto.
Yeah, just to note, these guys did face at the Face-It Major of all places, which was only a couple of weeks ago. The veto was a different process. It wasn't 1-1-1-1-1, but the same maps were banned. HellRaisers with the respect bans of Inferno and Mirage. TYLOO having to get rid of Nuke, Dust 2, and Train. So nothing has really changed from the maps we've seen, but here the thing is you must be expecting overpass if you are TYLOO. Last time they went head-to-head, it was 16-10 in favor of HellRaisers, so not necessarily a blowout of a scoreline. But
that was at the Major, too.
That was at the Major, but it was, you know, it was a good first half from TYLOO, if I remember rightly. That was the CT side where they got most of their rounds, so they're going to need to do that again.
Yeah, they're going to need to start out strong again, just like you can start out strong on loot.bet. And, of course, the bookmakers over there told us this about the game, and you can also get involved at LootBet using SLTV as your promo code. Of course, a partner of StarSeries iLeague.
Yeah, one of the problems that I see with TYLOO, and this builds on the point that Jacob was with communication, is a map like Overpass is very mid-round. You need to take territory over towards the bathrooms, get yourself a bit of long control, and over towards B, you need to get that sewer area to posture for an attack onto that site. The biggest problem is, once you get that area of the map and a call needs to be made quickly, you don't have that capability when you are having to go through a bunch of different languages unless you have predetermined game plans. Now, in a map like this, where you get picked off one guy who has a special smoke or he has a Molotov that he has to use and he's dead, all that stuff has to be renegotiated and recommunicated, and that's not something very easy to do. You look at HellRaisers, you go, Chad, these guys are from 5 different places. Well, 4, because Bondik and Angel are both from Ukraine, but their communication is streamlined in English. They all speak English, and they speak it, I flash now, and they're not convoluting the language with lots of extra words.
That's it, though.
Keywords. So
yeah, it's keyword. That said, though, their communication that's not perfect either. When you compare them to a team like MIBR when they were full Brazilian, or when you compare them to Astralis for that matter today, like it's 2 different worlds of communication. It's very, as you said, streamlined. It's very simple. It's not as deep as you may want it to be. So it's not like TYLOO is outmatched that much when it comes to communication. That's also one of the areas where HellRaisers are probably struggling a little bit when they're facing full Danish team or full Swedish teams, because their communication can't be as deep and as precise and as quick and effective as you want it to be. So yes, we are talking about TYLOO having major communication issues, but it's not like HellRaisers don't have any of them themselves.
Yeah, that's true. I think both these teams have very similar makeups in a way as well. We have Issa on one side of things, who's an all-round rifler, clutches, entry frags, basically does all the nitty and gritty. And then you look on the other side of things, Bentet is of a very similar vein. Then you've got Voxic and you've got Xcure, both 2 very explosive AWPers, can have a lot of impact. And then for me, so I'm expecting those 4 players to get theirs. I'm expecting them to do what they need to do. It's the other players. So I think Bondik will be an impact player for HellRaisers, and I think that somebody with how disruptive he can be is the key man for TYLOO in this matchup.
Somebody is going to have to get these predictions out of you guys, and that's going to be me. So let's get them from you guys right away. Let's start with you, Jacob.
I think HellRaisers should be considered the favorites, and if not before the veto, then definitely after this one. They won that big time. TYLOO were not able to punish them or pressure them at any point in that veto process, and the fact that it is overpass, they won 87.5% of the maps. It's going to be another one to that.
You know, we're gonna change up the pace here because it was actually a test. What you guys forgot was a key part of this is a knife round.
Okay.
And the reality is here.
Well done, Trace.
But it's good.
Yeah.
So now you have a shot at redemption when we actually get to the predictions. Now, the reality is this. Can we see a stronger start at least, or is it more one-sided as it is? Because we did see the win rate looking at Overpass.
I think this hurts TYLOO more having a knife round, right? When you do the veto process, especially within the Face-It Major, the team who bans the last map, the other team gets to pick the side. So that means that it was HellRaisers' choice to allow Overpass as the final map, and then, you know, if you're TYLOO, you get to start on the CT side. You have solace in that. This time around when we knife, if HellRaisers win it, I think this would just be a blowout.
Just right away.
It's probably going to be a blowout. Let's be honest.
If TYLOO start on the CT side, I can see this being a close affair. It's scrappy rounds that they win, right? It is scrappy rounds, but I think that you know, like you said, HellRaisers have to be the favorite on this map.
You are right, building onto your point as well with the communication issue and the way overpass works in terms of you have to make split decisions at all times, and it is a very like mid-round based map. In that regard, we did talk and touch upon HellRaisers communication as well. It's not like it's perfect, right? So if TYLOO can play that uncharacteristic Counter-Strike they sometimes play, put on the chaos, somebody in particular doing a lot of fun stuff, then it can be a stress factor for HellRaisers.
Okay. Here's a little bit more of a stress factor. There's actually just a little bit of a problem down the stage. Nothing major, nothing where you need to freak out and run to your nearest...
what are you doing right now, Trace?
You're freaking me out, man.
Don't call the cops. Whatever you do, don't call the cops. So...
I want to keep... Can I keep talking?
You can.
Okay.
Yes, you have all the time in the world.
So I want to keep the narrative alive that we've been doing every segment about movies and relating that to the game. So I want to get a movie that Jacob can be involved in. Now you and I are both born in 1989. We're quite old. We're 29 this year. Next year you're 29 soon. Next year we're turning 30. That's GG for us. But this guy right here, he's still a spring chicken. He's still out there. He's getting it all done, and we can live vicariously through him. But this is a movie that you may know. TYLOO's playstyle in Counter-Strike is a bit like the Fast and the Furious franchise. Now you think about each one of those movies, they start off so chaotic. You always have like a race scene or something. That's TYLOO. Like they're just going for it. I almost swore. Apologies. Family show. And they're just going for it. They're just loving it. That's like the start of a Fast and the Furious movie. Then you get into learning about the plot. So this is where it slows down a little bit. Maybe they'll change the pace. You know, maybe they'll be struggling with economy or whatever. Then once we get into the real drama, then they kick back off. They find that second gear, and now we have the real action scene going. Because a lot of TYLOO games are relatively close. Yesterday they were blown out. But this one here, I think, you know, we're definitely going to be seeing maybe a bit of what's the fifth one? Where is it? The fifth one where they're driving down the street and they've got the safe.
You know, I'm not entirely sure. Have you seen the series?
I've seen the series. I'm not entirely sure which one it is, but there's definitely a safe being blown out. Yeah.
Good thing they have Google, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm.
I can follow you in that.
You like that one?
Yeah, I can follow you. I mean, and I know the series for sure. I'm not sure I agree because often it ends up in a good thing, right? For TYLOO, they often get to the second game.
Yeah, but TYLOO could be the bad guys.
Yeah, probably.
They could be the villain.
Okay.
That would be.
I'll buy that one.
Fast 5, and that was in 2011. Chad.
I knew it. I knew it was number 5.
You're good. You're good in your movies.
Yeah, I feel like you recently watched all of them. Now,
no.
I guess you're right in the sentiment that they do have this like jackhammer approach to just really getting in there and getting it done.
Smashing their head against a brick wall sometimes.
It's not like a team though. It's like individual players, right?
They make individual plays, but they have weirdly sometimes they know how to play off of each other off of those kills, which is a lot of teams don't react in that way, right? Okay. We used to have code words when we were playing, right? So if we had an opening kill and it felt like we wanted to continue on this. It's a bit derogatory towards Americans. We would call American because they're dumb, right? They're just the dumb play. But if we wanted to do like a smart play, which was just wait for pushes and sit back and play the clock and utility, we'd call Euro.
Okay.
Right? So like those are the juxtaposition of the play styles. Obviously, a lot's changed.
Nothing really changed.
But yeah, you know, in fact, I'm going to have to invite the Twitch chat to get involved at this point using hashtag Chad is lame. Let's go ahead and get that one in there. See how many votes that gets in. Now, you want to say that we're dumb. But the reality is...
I meant in Counter-Strike. I didn't mean in life. You guys are the only reason that Australia is safe.
Chad, how many majors has the Oceanic region won?
How many?
I don't know.
What? Do you know the number? I know the number.
I know the number.
It's a fat goose egg. Cloud9 won a major. You can never take that back. There's nothing we can do there. Now, Chad,
that was a fluke.
It is what it is.
I don't think it was a fluke. But it was an anomaly. It was an anomaly.
It wasn't a fluke?
It was an anomaly.
It was a kind of a weird
thing,
then? But it still happened. You can't take it away.
No, because they won it fair and square.
So isn't a fluke anomal?
No, like a fluke would be if you and I were playing a competition and we wanted to throw a water bottle and get it to stand on its head or something like that, right? That would be a fluke if it happened the first time I did it.
Okay.
But Cloud9 actually had to battle through. They had to do all that fun stuff.
And it gave one of the best storylines of any major I think we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Other than that Olaf pass thing, that was also a one-off, right?
Yeah, on this map. So
yeah, it's kind of weird how that works. Either way, shows shifting away from Fast and Furious. Any movies that come to your mind?
Now I don't really watch a lot of movies. I have time spent outside in the real world.
Well, you can relate them to a series if you want, if you watch some series.
Like The Rain. I watched this Danish show called The Rain one time. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea what
you were telling me about that.
It's like where it rains throughout all of the the Scandinavian region. When it rains, it actually kills people outside.
The government did it, right?
Some sort of government experiment went wrong. But the reality is that they're like in Denmark and they're just walking through Copenhagen. It's weird because I like recognize these places. We basically live there, right?
Yeah.
So.
All right,
don't tell the government we live there.
I mean, I've been there a couple times.
I thought you were living in Germany.
Yeah, I am a resident. It's official.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Officially.
No, but we spent it. Yeah, like I have a bit of paper.
Okay.
I get power bills. I do all that kind of fun stuff. They almost shut my power off.
You're like an adult.
Yeah, I'm an adult.
Is that what they call them these days?
Yeah, I think so.
The badger is fully grown.
I don't look like an adult.
No, you don't.
No.
You kind of look like a badger, though. Either way, we're still waiting to get in the game. It's not just 3 guys talking about whatever comes into our mouths, or out of our mouths, I should say.
Can I, excuse me, sir? I'm older than you. What am I saying? I'm picking a topic.
Yeah, what do you got?
Cool. So I always have my go-to, which is talking about the scheduling stuff. So let's stay away from that one.
That's
I don't think
boring,
I think some people decided to put the tweet I made about Nuke on the front page of Reddit.
Okay.
And some people made some
You
comments
want to
saying.
promote yourself now.
Some people made some comments saying that if he had the ideas of how to fix it, that he would have already done it. Well, no, dude, I need a big enough platform to do it because otherwise it's just wasting my time and effort, and my time and effort is bloody valuable to me. So let's just think about a couple things on Nuke that we could probably change and that we could make it a much more even map. Now, the first thing that I think is important, this is the first change, is to put Secret in Warehouse. You can put it in the same position. I just don't think that the T's should get that clear line to run across and go straight down. I think that the reason is actually to benefit the T's, because at the moment they use a lot of utility to get Secret control, but they can lose it very easily. They can be picked, they can be fought, the person can use a one-way smoke, can all be denied. What I think would be smart is make that whole yard warehouse utility, real estate that you want to get, that you want to gather. Once you use the smoke wall and you get warehouse control, you own that part of the map. Now, obviously, we have to change the way the labyrinth works going down to the lower bomb site, but my rationale is for the utility being expended, which is normally at least 3 smokes and flashes, etc., to take that part of the map, you should at least own it. Where I feel with Secret, you don't own it. It's more sometimes used as a charade as well, right? And
A what?
charade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think that that would be one. That would be my first change. What do you think about that, Jacob?
I like the concept, I think.
Obviously, there's lots of adjustments.
Yeah, because you'd have to widen out the map as well and make Warehouse bigger.
I was thinking just about moving the entrance to Warehouse just a little bit further away from the CT so that the Ts can actually get there to line up, take the duel first.
Exactly.
And I think that it's still a very contestable part of the map. I just think that you move everything over a little bit, and then you cotton off so that Secret is actually in Warehouse. You can still put it in the same position. You just want to put it so that once you own Warehouse, you own that part of the map, and it stresses the CTs. Right now, taking Secret doesn't stress the CTs so much.
It's not even needing full map control or outside control at that point. You're basically, you can shoot down a lane outside and just get down.
The problem with that is the Secret is so long. Like from the second you go into Secret, it's such a long time before you actually end the bomb site, right?
And that
so
we
the
need to
whole
change.
transition period needs to be slower or faster, and that's
I agree.
scenario. Another thing I would change is the hut inside. You know, it's super easy right now for the CTs to defend hut inside because it's so deep and so wide open now.
Yes.
You can watch all the way inside center almost from heaven, right? So if you make that angle a little bit different now, so you can't see if there's a T inside hut, or if the T can actually take control over hut and use that for something, set up grenades, set up molotovs, set up flashes, nades, whatever, instead of being killed every single time he goes inside hut because it's so deep. I think that little change would change a lot because we don't see those sick inside threats anymore with the sky flashes and all that kind of stuff because it's super hard to get out of hut.
And actually, I've just gotten word that it will be roughly 3 minutes until we get in the game.
We're gonna. Can we continue this?
Yes, we can continue, but I'm going to invite chat to count to 180 while we're doing that. So
cool.
Go.
So I think another change that could be cool to the top side, I agree with you that Hut needs to be more functional. But and this isn't because I'm a 1.6 purist. I played Source, and I actually played Source at a higher level than I did 1.6.
Nothing pure about that.
I think that what they should do is with the rafters that are especially above Hut and stuff, you know, the ones, they should actually make it like it was in 1.6 away from the wall. And they should be thin enough that you can actually see the CT standing on it. Now, the reason for that is because when you take top site, there's so many angles to clear. If you make those beams so that you're actually standing on them and you can be spotted, you can't play in those goblin corners. It's such a difficult bomb site to take already that doing that would mean that it is harder for the CTs to play on a lot of those angles.
And that's where you get challenged because then you need to find a balance because you cannot change both Secret, Hut, and make that adjustment. I think that'll be too fair for the T side all of a sudden.
Yeah,
right?
I think that there are probably, like, if you made it so the full rafter was available like it used to be, then the CTs have a few more positions to go to. And I also think that this one here, a lot of people go, no, why do we need this? But if you want to make the game more functional from the start, because Nuke is relatively slow map, you make the entire ceiling, like the entire wall on the ceiling like it used to be, you make it glass so that you can spam through the rafters, right? And it's intuitive. That's what Valve want. They want it to be intuitive.
I think the one thing that really sets me off in terms of this new version of Nuke, yes, we do need to progress forward. Yes, we do need to have a different version of the map itself. But, you know, lacking 2-vent system, that one by itself is kind of weird. When you don't have a hut window, which I think gave a sort of pivotal play to the mini garage and the connector side where you can get picks there. You can play that and kind of jump out in a certain way. But not having the hut window and not having the 2 vents kind of perturbs me at least.
I agree with that. I think you could have 2 vents back, just make it so that to get into the vent you have to crouch. that'll slow down the rotation time. I don't mind that you can run in the vents. I just think to exit and enter the vents, you need to be able, you should be crouching because that will slow rotation and it will make it so that the CTs don't have free reign to go between both bomb sites.
I agree in a way. My problem with that is just the fact that I think Nuke is unique in its own way because it requires so much from the CT side. If you want to be good at Nuke and if you want to have a strong CT side, want to be like an Astralis type of CT team on Nuke, your communication needs to be on point. You need to understand the rotations, you need to understand the map, and you need to understand the game to a high level. And I mean, you're taking that away, I feel, a little bit if you were to do that with the vent system. So I think Nuke in itself is a unique map, and I like, the same for Dust 2. A lot of people hate Dust 2, but it's unique in its own way, right?
Yeah.
It requires a different set of skills to be good in Dust 2, and I think that's something we need in Counter-Strike. So it's not the same teams being good at all 6 maps, so you can actually divert it a little bit.
Right. I agree.
Let's go ahead and take a gander here. It looks like HellRaisers has won the knife round, which they should probably be electing to go.
So about those predictions.
Oh, we're almost there, yes. You ready?
Almost there? Yeah.
You know what? Let's hear it. You change your mind.
I changed my mind. I think
wow.
HellRaisers is going to win this one. I said it before. I think they're just the better players, the better team, and I think TYLOO are having too many communication issues. And I also do have a lot of faith in Voxic, and especially Isa on this map, in particular on overpass. I think those 2 players are probably one of the best duos in this map.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Jacob that I think HellRaisers have the firepower advantage with those 2 players. I know that Bondic, Oldmate, Angel, and even Dead Fox have impact frags. We saw that at the major very late. Whereas TYLOO, for me, this is not a map that I consider one of their comfort zone picks, which isn't a Mirage, Acacia, Inferno, so it's going to be very difficult for them. I'm going with the HellRaisers.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I think the percentages do weigh heavily in favor of the HellRaisers. But because it's TYLOO and because they do have this some sort of unorthodox way to play the game, this could really be their map in terms of turning it around on its head.
What are you saying, Trace?
I'm saying that there's a chance for TYLOO to be #1 today and beat HellRaisers, which is what we're going to do. It's time to get into the game, where in which we do have Hugo and it would be Tom Biz would be his name. Take it away, guys.
I wonder if Trez actually knows that they put him down for a TYLOO prediction there. Because he was very much sort of on the fence towards the end of
Trace's predictions just go opposite of whatever the others say. That's
Except
what I
with
find.
Vega. He went with Vega.
He tries to make it interesting.
Yeah, that's true. But this time I think it was just like, he didn't really give a complete answer, so the production team decided for him.
You know what's interesting though? How the hell TYLOO let overpass slip through the map veto here. There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a game plan, because you don't look at this if you're TYLOO and go, HellRaisers' highest win percentage map, 90% win rate over the their 3rd most played, our lowest played map pretty much. And yeah, let's let that come through in a best of 1 when we're already 1-0 down or 0-1 down in the tournament. Like that.
The thing is, though,
crazy.
As it was said on the Death Spice bunch, they sort of have such a limited map pool as it is with only 3 maps that if those 3 maps sort of go, you're like, well,
yeah,
they don't have that much to fall back on. I would like it does seem like a little bit of a weird one to end up on, but the thing is we don't know what they've been like practicing behind the scenes. Maybe they have something prepared for overpass. Maybe they just feel that Woxic and Issa, they didn't have the best of games yesterday, that maybe they'll be able to sort of play a little bit better, because I do think that, especially on this map, if your AWP is off, a lot of it can throw your whole game off, and I don't think we saw anywhere near the best of Woxic yesterday.
He was the bottom player for HellRaisers, and that is a very rare occasion to see. So let's hope he can find his form today, but let's hope TYLOO have something up their sleeves as we jump into this one. HellRaisers on the CT side after winning the knife round. It's a best of 1, ladies and gents. 0-1 match. So loser of this going to be going 0-2 and 1 map away from elimination. So certainly not a game you want to lose. And for HellRaisers as well, they've been on a bit of a tear recently. Again, top 8 at the major. This should be a win for them on everyone's counts. But let's see. Woxic already gone. That's a horrible fight to take. DD going to jump around the corner. And TYLOO, this is very common, setting up a couple of players outside of B in Connector and outside of Monster, going for the early A information play, forcing rotations, and then dropping down to the lower bomb site. And they are dropping players on the way. 4v2 for TYLOO, and the B site's empty.
Yeah, there's only 2 players left to even fight it back. Bondic does have himself a kit and a couple of flashbangs and a nice shot to the head as well of Captain Mo. It is going to be still 3 players for them to clear. Somebody just around the corner and, well, perfectly timed peek out. He doesn't actually get any of the kills. It's done by Bentet and Excurate. And, yeah, I think this one's, I think the biggest question mark for me in this map is, like, I think Nuke's in there as well, but when it comes to communication in rotations, it's so crucial on overpass.
Yeah, you can say that on every map at the end of the day, but you're definitely right in terms
I don't know,
of
I feel like with the other maps they play, like you look at the sort of Mirage, you look at Cash, like I would say that you can get away with it a bit more, whereas on this map, I just don't think so. Especially on the T side, you make a lot of late round calls because the rotations are so quick.
Oh, nice nades. In my head, the only thing I'm thinking is, like, if you're TYLOO coming into this game, right, you look at the map vetoes and you're thinking about it before the match and you're going, okay, if we want to play overpass, we can guarantee that map because HellRaisers know we suck at it and we know HellRaisers are good at it. So maybe they could have prepped hard. Like, HellRaisers have got plenty of maps on overpass for TYLOO to go through if they want to work out, you know, what the setups are, what HellRaisers like to do on the T side. There's certainly a chance for them to trawl through the demos. So
it could be one as well that HellRaisers never expected to get.
Exactly, right?
Like they're just like, okay, we don't think we'll play this, so let's make sure everything else is prepped.
Ooh.
Jewel. He doesn't actually manage to kill the lower player. Woxic, however, has caught out one. Somebody still very low on HP. Up close in this smoke is going to be Bondic, just waiting on the other side of it. Already gets one. The second as well runs out of bullets for the third, but he's given his team a great opportunity here. Excurate left on just 33 HP, and he's going to go on the rotation. He's going to try and make his way right back in towards the B side. At the moment, the CT side are on completely the wrong site, and it will get that clock ticking quite far down before they actually manage to work out where he's going to be. The rotation begins now from Woxic, and he will be making a little bit of a sound cue, so Excurate is going to know where he is. Now, Woxic doesn't have any head armor, so there is still the chance for the instant kill with the SMG. However, Issa does, and has a CZ behind it. However, Excurate, look at the push he's coming in. He's looking to go in on the flank all the way back around these remaining CT players. I wonder if they'll realize roughly where he is. He's going to come in. Neither of them are currently looking over towards that side. Woxic will go down. It's back into the 1 versus 1. No kit to be had, so he can just let this clock tick. And while I think it may already be too far gone, he's going to take the fight.
No.
I don't think he has it yet. It has to be the save. Well played from Excurate. That switch up of sights won them the round, and then just all the way wrapping.
And that's nice to see a conversion as well for TYLOO. This is kind of hinted at by the desk as well, but like TYLOO, of the top 30 teams right now, they are the 5th worst at converting their second rounds after winning pistols. So
and the worst at winning pistols.
Yeah, and the worst at winning pistols out of the top 30.
So what we've just got now is basically a statistical anomaly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's good, especially when you're coming in as an underdog for both the map and the matchup, right? So 2-0 for TYLOO. HellRaisers now down to pistols with the exception of Issa on that save Galil. He upgraded it from the MP5. And TYLOO, damn, look at this buy. This is Vegas Squadron tier. We've got an AK, we've got triple MAC-10, a lone CZ. HellRaisers are about to get torn to shreds. I mean, apart from Angel and Issa, everyone's on default pistols here.
Yeah, they need someone to be a bit of a hero. Well, it's not going to be him, but to be honest, let's put that into perspective. An SMG versus a man with nothing is never going to go his way. And the T's are just going to go barreling through long. Now, there isn't much of a defense here. The remaining weaponry is over on the other side of the map. It is in the hands of Issa. And he may even just look to try and bring this into the next round. The Galil's not ideal, but with the amount of extra utility he'll be able to gather, it would be worthwhile. They're looking to try and find if somebody has taken control of this connector, and he will be spotted. Now, bear in mind, DevFox has nothing to lose, so he just wants to be the sort of bait, but nice work from somebody pre-firing the angle. Now, he was somebody I expected a lot from yesterday, and didn't get it.
Who, somebody or?
Yeah, I knew that meme was coming.
No, legitimate question.
DevFox has just found 2 kills. I'm just going to move swiftly on. But yeah, on the CT side of Inferno, he was very underwhelming. He started off a bit better today. Still a couple of kills for DevFox and retrieving that rifle. Now, the chance of him holding it is fairly slim. Bondic will have to get the kill, and the Tet is just going to end both lives. Nice little cleanup from TYLOO in the end, and I'm pretty sure every single kill they had in that round, or at least close, was with SMGs, so lots of money made.
Yeah, that's not a worry for HellRaisers, though. Saving the Galil wouldn't have made much difference. Again, they will be buying up into this 4th round. We've got full of rifles. AWP for Woxic again. I say again. It's his first time on this map, but he's going to be on glass cannon as well. We won't have one for TYLOO. This is where they could throw maybe a faster approach to this round, go for a quick monster push, sneak up A long. Although, if you're trying to avoid Woxic, going towards the A site certainly isn't a good idea, and he's going to push up quickly, and that is Woxic already starting things off well. Excurate dead, the AWPer of the other team, but alas, he only had a Galil in this round, and TYLOO, the rest of them are going to be crawling down to a slower pace now. We have connect control by the Chinese, and again, still 2 players outside of A. Woxic's fallen back to position himself on long. There's still triple B for HellRaisers here, so no reason to pull one over. They've got plenty of information. They have long completely empty, and actually, as I say that, Woxic going to reposition and go back towards the toilet. So that's awkward timing, because TYLOO have just worked their way up long.
Yeah, still try and find themselves another pick. Obviously not with much utility to try and hold back these remaining players. Obviously a little bit wary that they may have actually managed to push a little bit further aggressive, but it's not the case just yet. Now in terms of the T side in this one, they didn't really play a bonus round at all. They invested back in, and look at the push through the smoke. Now they've already got players ready and waiting. DD has already gone back. He's going to be throwing down a little bit more utility before they push. Yeah, long wraparound already coming, but it seems like the call was made from Bondik, who was holding the angle. Angel trying to defend off. I think he hit the dink as well as he faded away. It's going to be left all onto one, and DD has done a little bit of extra damage, and he may just opt to try and steal something here. He's only got 25 seconds. The bomb is down. It may be worthwhile if he can just retrieve that AWP, but it looks like he's actually just going to save an AK instead.
Yeah, didn't want to push back into the toilets to meet a close player, and they'd rather just buy up next round anyway. You can see the money isn't great, but we got a couple of players who'll be able to afford. And again, DD can drop over for Captain Mo, Bentet, Execute, they're going to be fine anyway. Somebody will be limited, but it's going to be okay for TYLOO. They can buy up once again. HellRaisers saved that AWP off of the body of Woxic, and yeah, nice round from him as well. Again, as you mentioned, slow start yesterday, didn't really hit his form. HellRaisers losing to Imperial was a bit of an upset, but now Woxic's already started off with, I think that was 3 kills this round. Very nice defense. It's nice to see the buddy system of HellRaisers going through as well. We have Angel up in the toilets watching Woxic's back while he holds long from an off angle. TYLOO weren't expecting that one, and now we have the force buy, an AWP for Execute, somebody on pistol, everyone else rifled up.
Angel for a little bit of aggression in towards the connector, but we'll just be trying to stop a fast take, and you can see an early stack on towards the B site from HellRaisers with Woxic leading the charge. Now he does have armor and nades behind his trusty AWP in this situation. Now connector control is going to be taken. Captain Mo's actually going to be the one to peek. Execura was set up with the AWP, but he doesn't take any sort of risks there. And obviously with one of your players on a pistol, somebody can just go and pick that rifle back up, and they'll be still with the 4 guns that they started with. At the moment, though, he's not going to do that. Now, to be honest, for this man, I don't think that the AK is even that much of an upgrade. He is ridiculous with the CZ, but I do imagine he'll go and get it if he can.
This creep into B might just be perfectly timed from TYLOO as this third rotate has gone back up that A-bomb site. Obviously the T's are yet to realize, but HellRaisers is playing very passive right now, gives TYLOO a bit of room. Unfortunately though, that rotation is going back down towards lower. I think that's 2 players moving down for HellRaisers. This could be a really good call. In fact, Woxic stays on A after all, but Bondik still moved down to reunite with his team, and now TYLOO, what was once easy, has turned into a bit of a task.
Yeah, the clock burning low. 25 seconds onto the clock, and it's looking like they may have to just try and force the issue. The smoke is going to fade. DevFox is here, Issa as well. Rotation yet to really coming, although I imagine Bondik is looking from above, and that's exactly what's happening. He's holding down the angles, looking for a little bit more. The clock ticking. DevFox not going to go for the bomb now. He's just trying to hold on to these plays, and Issa just jumps up from above, but he's left completely blind. It won't matter either way. DevFox is there to close, and it is going to be another round on the board for the CT side. Now, they've actually got a secondary AWP at the moment. I imagine they may look to juggle that away. I'd be interested to see who actually picks up. I suppose they could just hand it over to DevFox, but no, yeah, they're just going to get rid of it for an AK instead.
Nice little teammates from HellRaisers as well. Everyone doing their part in that round. And it's good to see Woxic be set up with plays with that AWP early on, right? You have the door open, you have Woxic peeking through that connector from B short. HellRaisers gaining some map control, which obviously slows TYLOO down when they go to take B short. They're very aware of the fact that HellRaisers could still be pushed into that position. Slows them down, allows for Bondik to rotate towards B, and then that smoke even makes things harder for TYLOO, as now they're going to be back down to pistols again. Money is not looking good. Angel's going to hear those footsteps. That's why he stood by connector for a second. He hears all these players running through those lower tunnels. Should be ready somewhat, and that's why he's backing off, because he doesn't know how many exactly players are coming through. MP9 at range, certainly not the gun you'd want here, but in the toilets, that's far more where this gun's going to be used. He even has 2 more players on this A site as well, Woxic and Bondik. They've both rotated into position. However, all these Ts are currently waiting around the corner. That nade's going to chunk nicely, but there's the peak. How does Woxic even hit that? Nice first shot. Angel going to strafe out wide as well and take another frag. It's a 1-2 combo from Woxic and Angel. Only Bentet left, and Bondik, he wants to join the party. Angel's been taken down in the meantime, but it's only a SMG dropped, so this should be fine for HellRaisers. They have this round on lockdown. A full house for the two players on that CT side. That A site is not going to be taken by pistols. TYLOO will have rifles, though.
Yeah, a little bit of stat padding early on for Woxic, but that's the sort of thing you want with this guy, because we sort of mentioned them as another team yesterday when they get rolling and you see the sort of Issa and Woxic show, both of them like pumping each other up with confidence. They're a really scary team to face off against. You put them in a position where neither of them are really performing and things get very dicey. It's almost scary to watch when they're playing. And obviously, for TYLOO, we're yet to see too much just yet. We've got Excura on the AWP once again. It is 3-3 after they win 3 in a row following the pistol. Issa, he hasn't had the best of days so far. Been caught out a few times, and DD will be the one to deal the damage. Maybe that's what it stands for.
No need to keep the pressure up on B. He is alone after all, so DD falling back, allowing TYLOO to take control up towards the connector, clear out more parts of the map, and with a man down, HellRaisers already forced back a fair bit. Of course, when you are at a disadvantage on the CT side, it's always nice to try and make a play and pull back that advantage, but HellRaisers are losing a lot of map control by just being in a 4v5 situation. That's why Angel's pushed all the way down. He's trying to flank onto these TYLOO players, and it may be well timed if he continues past this corner as well, because TYLOO, they are not watching their backline right now. There's a big gap, a big opening for Angel to exploit. Let's hope he doesn't just get timed with DD, who's coming in through the T-spawn. Woxic flashed off the angle, but it's the same story for Excura, who was blind on that jump peak. So, luckily enough, no one getting that shot off. Woxic going to move back into position, and he does catch a tag. Somebody low, but Woxic needs to get another kill, because now HellRaisers are in a 2v5.
Yeah, this round is looking dead to rights, and you have to wonder, based on the economy of the CT side, yeah, Bonding, he starts running, and it's like, actually, this probably isn't the best of ideas. Let's try and hold on to something here, but it's not done just yet. They're not out of the woods. DD never actually left this B position, and DevFox, oh, you don't want to run backwards that way. That's a simplistic kill for DD. And now Bondic is slowly being surrounded. Buntet will be camped in the corner. More like Buntent at the moment. Bondic, well, eventually will be put down.
Yeah, you don't want to take that fight. TYLOO 4-3 now. A nice clean round as well. No deaths coming through for the Chinese. HellRaisers, they will be able to force the issue and buy up once more, but next round they're going to be broke, so they're looking for this reset to come in right here, right now. It was 3 rounds in a row for TYLOO, then 3 back for HellRaisers before they eventually got at least TYLOO on another rifle round, which is good to see. Again, it was a bit of a scary one. The second HellRaisers win their first rifle round, and we see Woxic begin to style on the CT side. I was worried that maybe they just run over this, but TYLOO clearly done their homework, and Woxic, again, starting things off. Ready for that push from DD as he did in the previous round. Already spotted outside of that B monster, and Woxic's just going to peek down, get the kill, and instantly rotate back up. He's already on the A site before you know it.
Yeah, that's actually, I like the switch up there, because they've actually, that's one of the ways that TYLOO was able to get an opener in the last round, was just DD probing over towards the short position. So just go for something aggressive early on. Woxic has not really been missing his shots. He got overwhelmed in the previous round. Nice. And just a very quick shot. I like how they've actually switched up the replay thing, so it doesn't have the big thing anymore. Just a quick replay.
That's good.
Much, much better. Improving as we go along. Woxic, as you said, he's back in his trusty short position. There's a few players I really enjoy watching in this position. One of them's him. I like watching Mo as well from Gambit. Yeah. I think that's why it's one of Gambit's better maps, or CT side at least. The CT side is really strong.
The T side consists of push monster or push A long a lot of the time.
That's just the map, Hugo. No, look at Cadian, and it worked for him.
Yeah, just push monster. Forget long. HellRaisers, though, man advantage in this round. TYLOO very close up that long position. Look at somebody. He's crept in through the smoke. Oh, this is a nice angle, but Angel is on it, ready and waiting. If somebody keeps going forward, he may be able to get himself into the site. Woxic going to be overwhelmed on the left side. No no-scopes today. Somebody's wrapped, but Angel's fired back. He's found himself a kill. No more than that. Now back down to a 3-on-3, and TYLOO with 10 seconds left will get this bomb plant in. Certainly not a round you want to save with your HellRaisers. You can get this reset right here and now, even with the bomb plant from TYLOO. So they're going to give it a go, but Buntet still pushed up close.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy retake trying to get back up those stairs, especially because there's actually 2 AWPs now over on the T side. They're just playing this after one. They've left Buntet up close as almost a distraction, and while he already manages to do a little bit more than that, finds the first kill and is just dancing around the truck. A second as well for Buntet, and there's only one more to be had, and Xcuro will steal it before Buntet can style anymore. 5 and 3. A nice bounce back as well from TYLOO with 2 rounds in a row and no cash for HellRaisers.
Yeah, it's a hard round to lose with the money situation as it is. It seems like TYLOO have clearly come into this map a little bit more prepared than we expected, Tom. Again, for those who didn't see the death segment before and the breakdown of that, this is not a map that TYLOO play, at least not too often, whereas HellRaisers have had a lot of success on it in the past couple of months. So TYLOO, 5-3 lead, putting HellRaisers to pistols. This should be a 6th, and somebody certainly wants to take it away from their hands as he dives into B. Jump spot from Deadbox. Like the little tag as well through, but he's not going to be able to get too much done with just a P2K, you would assume. Somebody, nice double entry, that's a B side open, and a 3rd. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Pad those stats, get some eco frags. Xcuro waiting patiently for Woxic, and Angel is left without a hope in hell. Now, there's not going to be an AWP in the next round, for HellRaisers at least. Some Xcuro will still have the one that he's had for the last few rounds, actually. They managed to streak it together, but you could actually see Woxic invested a little bit into an extra pistol because ultimately knows he's not getting it. Nice shot at least from Angel. You can see somebody just trying to spam through. He doesn't want to allow any sort of collection of that weapon. Be interested to see. Oh, did they actually manage to just, yeah, they've sort of blocked him off. Now, Buntet really wants to stop him getting it, and actually I think Angel may just die to the bomb. Yeah. Not that it matters anyway, he had a P250 to lose and not much else. The question is, how's the buy going to look on the other side? Now, we do see a pause called in. Already 6 rounds on the T side, really not bad at all from the TYLOO side. And you have to almost wonder if the state of HellRaisers is a little bit worse than we thought, because going into this, at least for me, I thought, okay, they're looking like a team that should be like getting into the top 8 easily.
Yeah, right. Especially their recent performance. It's a bit weird. Yesterday, we kind of put down to an anomaly and you know, HellRaisers underestimating their opponent, etc., etc., etc. And to be fair, this isn't a team they play very often, right? They played them once at the major. They got the victory there. I can't remember what map it was, but other than that, we haven't seen them play since like last year, pretty much. So, and by that point, HellRaisers had different rosters. TYLOO had different roster. It didn't matter back then. So the fact is, are we seeing HellRaisers underestimate another opponent today? I don't think you can even call TYLOO a team that you underestimate, because you know TYLOO can and will upset you if you do. But in the case of Imperial, that was clearly what happened yesterday, and now you would like to think HellRaisers are going to bounce back, but even so, TYLOO are putting up a magical display on this T side. 6-3, HellRaisers do have a buy, but Tom, look at this. No utility really past a couple of flashbangs. 2 smokes, no kit, no AWP, and that's been the reason they actually won those 3 rounds in a row. Woxic was finding openers left and right. So now with that removed, what the HellRaisers have to show? They've taken connector control with 2 players down. But TYLOO have given that up, and they've just set up outside of B. The good thing for HellRaisers is, unless somebody can be a nuisance, even if TYLOO take B, there's going to be such a fast rotate from connector to short that it shouldn't be an issue for HellRaisers to keep themselves in this B bomb site.
Either way, we are going to have the push coming straight through in. Monster Captain Mo looking to lead the charge. It's one thing to kick things off. He gets the first kill and the second as well. Oh no, actually it's Deadbox stealing that one away. Woxic holding down the connector, and now Buntet and Xcuro, the only 2 remaining. A lot left to do. Buntet still manages a couple and have at least given Xcuro a small chance, but Issa will chime in to finish off the round. HellRaisers back on the board. TYLOO can comfortably purchase here.
That's a really nice round from HellRaisers. Just big individual plays showing through again on that B bomb site. They had no utility to really work with, no AWP to style through, and it was very important that TYLOO didn't get that bomb plant down with no kit for HellRaisers. So Buntet faking, while he does force out a kill from an overface from HellRaisers trying to deny the bomb plant, it's not going to account to a round. However, TYLOO still have cash for at least 1 more. So rifles back up, AWP here, and now we have Woxic on exactly that. So definitely a bit of fear set in the minds of TYLOO. Woxic's boosting up his teammate in the connector. But there's 2 players coming from down in the depths below. Even if Woxic gets taken down, he's going to have a teammate to at least trade out for 1.
I'd be surprised if they get him though. Woxic already gets the first. Looking for a little more. Issa, in the meantime, has found one over towards long. They've actually switched him. He was originally playing over towards B, and Woxic is just absolutely styling at this point. Angel, this deadly little duo that they've got going is really nice. I like the way that Angel just seems to be his like little sidekick who just comes in to help out when needed, and Woxic is just not missing at the moment. We can actually talk about the last time they played at the major. It was on overpass.
Oh, really?
So it is like the last time that TYLOO probably played it as well.
Yeah.
And Woxic was playing very well. 27 and 13. Bondik and Issa both on 21 and 22 kills respectively. And then at the other end, well, been 10 extra. Exactly what you expected.
Classic, right?
So it wasn't that close, 16-10.
Maybe this is a case of TYLOO trying to learn from their mistakes and
For sure.
you know, go, okay, we only lost by 6 rounds. Again, we had this conversation earlier. You lose a game, it's so much easier to be self-analytical. You have more rounds to go off of that you didn't win, and then you can go back and go, okay, these are our problems. Maybe that's TYLOO's aim here.
Yeah, I think they only managed to actually get 2 rounds on the T side though. They got 8 on the other side, so it's still possible. Like, it's definitely still possible that they could do much better. Yeah, they've got 6 rounds, and that's the thing. Whenever you look at TYLOO, like, it's normally their T sides that let them down. Yeah. It's the CT sides are much more prominent, especially when you talk about like Inferno. So yeah, we'll see if they can actually manage to work this over on the other side of the map. Either way, we are going to have just some pistols in this round. A chance for HellRaisers to make a little bit of moolah, but that B-side can get pretty close, and already somebody is going to kick things off. A couple of trades back within the first few seconds. DevFox still here to try and deny any sort of plan. Actually, a little bit confused with what's going on, but Issa is still there to rectify the problem. It's now left all onto Ted. He's not going to be able to do anything in the end. Issa rising to the table. He has been quiet so far, so I feel like a round like that, something to maybe build him up a little bit.
Yeah, that's a worrying thing to think about, right? 8 round CT side, again, you know, different game, different day, anything can happen. But 8 round CT side when they last played, and then 2 rounds T side, and that's what let them down. If they've already got 6, hey, even if it ends 9 to 6, and they have a, you know, similar T side or CT side, hey, you never know. TYLOO could find this upset, but let's find out, because again, HellRaisers are back to being armed to the teeth with Woxic on that AWP, and Angel, look at this aggression. He's not even supported in this. He goes for info, and that's a lot of info he gets because he sees no one outside of that party position. So now HellRaisers, they can be ready for a potential B play. Instant smokes and nades go down. Look at that. HellRaisers very prepared for what could have been a rush from TYLOO, and although they've set up early, they've not committed to the site just yet. Always got that chance to rotate up the connector, and that's a position that HellRaisers have no one at. And in fact, because this rush hasn't come through, Bondik's even going to rotate. And that's because HellRaisers are double A long right now and don't have anyone on short, so they need a bit more information. But that could be them playing into the hands of TYLOO here if we see this monster rush.
Oh, DevFox is going to be there, and the flashbang's perfect, but Issa, he sprays back down with 2. A third, not quite there, and it is back into a 2v2 situation. Angel and Woxic looking for the retake. It's been the deadly duo so far. The nade is perfect. DD tagged down to just 20 HP. And we're going to see Angel actually rotate back into the heavens.
He has a nade as well. Both these players are low. If he gets one well-placed nade, this round could be very, very easy for HellRaisers. It will actually miss as he goes back in through the heaven to throw it down. Captain Mo kept in the corner as well. They've got a crossfire. That's something. They can double peek together, but now we see Woxic take a rifle because this is going to be a better weapon to take 2 kills. Smoke. Woxic jumps on it. 4 seconds on the defuse. DD's closing up. Captain Mo's coming around the back, and he does save the day. Both kills coming through, but that got down very, very close.
I like that from TYLOO, though. They didn't peek at all. They knew where the bomb was planted. They knew their positions would allow that if anybody did come aggressive, they had the crossfire ready. And they didn't overface, which is very, very important in those sort of situations, because that's always been the sort of biggest problem for this TYLOO side is communication. Obviously, in this situation, it was 2 Chinese players. So you can sort of say that maybe those 2v2s are going to be a little bit easier than, say, if it was Buntet and DD or whatever. Like, you get the sort of idea. Either way, we are still going to have a buy, and actually, Issa's picked up an AWP here, so maybe feeling that things haven't been working out for him too well. I would say that like he got most of his kills actually in one of those sort of eco round situations, a triple kill, and other than that, I think he's had, what, 4 kills so far? Oh, he's got a few more than that, but yeah, he has been a little bit quiet just in terms of Issa.
Yeah, from what we expect of him, right?
Yeah.
The mantle that we hold him to. But again, TYLOO haven't been putting a huge amount of pressure on this B bomb site so far. However, they will be going back to do it 2 rounds in a row. This is waiting here with the AWP. DevFox playing close. And once that smoke fades, this is going to be very open. So he needs to pick a spot and turret down with this AWP. They could line up, but he drops the bomb instead. DevFox peeks out as well, but he's not needed. It's just found 2 AWP shots, both of them connecting. DevFox tries to help him out as well, just chipping away at Bintet. And in the meantime, Bondix just completely collapsed that short play. HellRaisers, lovely flawless round. And now we go into the last of the half, and they've got everything they need.
Yeah, that's for sure. And on the other side, they definitely don't. They have got some holes in their money. And yeah, that was a nice little round from Missa. I think that he's slowly built into this half because he he was bottom of the board for quite a while and then just got a few kills along the way. Now currently sat right up there with Woxic, which that's what we expect from this team. And I think going into the T side, that's going to be important because although Woxic can get the openers with the AWP, you don't want to solely rely on that. You need your star players to be up and running. And well, we are now 7-7.
And this is the scary thing as well. You talk about star players, right? On the side of TYLOO, we have our star player. We have Bintet. He's up at the top, 13 kills. Behind him, there's not really anyone standing out crazy, right? 9 kills on 2 players, 6 kills on 2 players. You know, everyone's pulling their weight. And of course, this is a very good T side, but you know, it's not. I don't want to call it a one-man show because everyone from TYLOO's fragging, but we don't have anyone going above and beyond apart from Bintet, which is certainly a worry when Woxic's hitting his shots with the AWP and Xcurate hasn't really had his chance to fire back and take that fight. Maybe the CT side could be a different story because it certainly isn't here. Last round of the half, just pistols, 1 AK on DD, and they're going desperately for this A play.
Angel's in a somewhat one and done a lot of the time, unless Woxic actually switches his angle up to long, which it somewhat seems like he may have done. And Angel's just going to play that sort of jump spot angle. The bomb actually, however, late into the round is actually going to go rotating back towards the B side. So TYLOO, they look like they're feeling more comfortable on B at the moment. Issa's going to be set up with the AWP and will even just look to slow them down. That's the biggest thing. And look how much utility still left. There's 3 incendiaries over on that HellRaiser side. There's only 25 seconds left on the clock. Realistically now, they could be in real trouble. Look at the smoke. Oh. That's right down to the depths. They have to actually go through that. They don't have a choice because it will not go before they can actually push in towards the site. The time ticking. Issa's going to be there down to 10 seconds. And while this is just not happening, surely not. Nice shot from Xcure at least. Bintet, he's going to try and get this bomb down. I think he will succeed just about. But now he has to fight an impossible scenario. And that utility usage from HellRaisers was absolutely superb.
Yeah, Issa on the AWP, putting up a lot of frags as well. This is not the secondary AWPer for the team, for those unaware. DeadFox, who used to be the primary AWPer before the addition of Woxic.
He's tertiary.
He's now gone third AWPer. Well, he's not even AWPing, obviously, because you don't need 3 AWPs. It's overpass. But seeing Issa on the second AWP and actually hitting shots, it's great. That's a huge surprise that that HellRaisers get away so luckily out of that round, because the fact of the matter is we had a AAA setup that entire time. And the reason being is because Angel was aggressive, he was hearing Bintet run around and jump at A long. In the meantime, there are 4 players of TYLOO down on that B site, ready to push short. And all of HellRaisers, or 3 of them, are up at A because of that information that Angel
also, I think Issa's aggressive position, peeking in towards the connect, that gave them a lot of information. Like the fact is, if he had no utility there, I don't think they would have still had such a heavy position. I think it was just that he had a smoke, they had an incendiary as well. They were so ready to slow them down that they weren't overly worried about that sort of position. But even still, 7 rounds T side is good.
Yeah.
It's very good. And going into the T side now, we get to see how this is actually going to work out. I still think that this is going to be tough for TYLOO, because although I think that their CT sides are always better, I think that this map is, again, it's like the communication, the rotations, when you go aggressive, when you need certain flashbangs, because there's so many angles on this map that you need somebody to like chuck you a nade if you're going to be able to peek. I think it's going to be tough for them communication-wise. The other thing is as well is Issa came right back into it towards the end of that. He's finished top of the board, 14-7, so he's going to be someone that's tough to shut down. The thing is, it's like, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, I think somebody needs to be someone that joins the top 2. I think Xcurate will probably do very well with the AWP, Bintet, I never have any doubts, but I think they need that 3rd player, and for me, I think somebody's the one you have to look at.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's 3rd on the scoreboard right now for the team, but again, close kill distribution. No one's super far ahead apart from Bintet, who's doing well. That scoreboard on the right is not correct as far as I'm aware.
No.
That's a
14
hell,
and
yeah.
7,
It's been a bit off every now and then. I think
It
it's
did no, it
HellRaisers.
just takes some of them
Yeah,
from
it's
the other side.
HellRaisers,
It's
yeah.
really weird. That's the in-game HUD.
Yeah,
So
it's okay. Blame Val. Either way.
always.
8-7 here. DevFox on the utility, and he's going to be outside of B. The HellRaisers are running the exact same strat that TYLOO did. We see this so often on T side. You try and make noise up on A, you try and show the bomb, you try and force TYLOO to make rotates to that A bomb site, which they are not doing, can I just say, because they have 4 players down on B right now. And then you rotate down that fast connected position. You have the utility potentially to usually go down in heaven from B short, but in this case, DevFox, he's playing all the way from the back, so let's see where that smoke goes. The double flashes raining over, the smoke is down, and now the push is in, but there are 4 TYLOO members on the other side. Surely HellRaisers can't get away with this one. Bentet and Didi starting things off. Bondig does trade one back, but this barrel's position is still a nuisance, and Captain Mo going to show his face. It's only Angel left up with a huge task, surely too much to ask.
Yeah, a lot to ask, but Executor is very low, and he's not peeking at all. He's going to find the kill onto Didi, and now it is left in a 1v1, which favors the in-game leader. We spoke about it yesterday. He was there to bail them out of situations that they really never should have been in. Now he's left in the 1 versus 1. Now he does actually have enough time that he could go rotating all the way over towards the A site. It's not that long a rotation on this map. I feel like he may be trying to bait out Executor a bit, but it didn't work the first time they tried it. It hasn't worked again. His opponent is ready and waiting on this site, and Angel is just looking to try and find this kill. He does not want to have to plant the bomb because he knows that's where Executor has the advantage. He's going to go pushing, slowly walking forward. He needs the headshot, and he hits it as well. No reaction, of course. He is cool as a cucumber, and he will be there to defuse the bomb. And now it's worth knowing, Chad said if they could win some pistols, they'd be a pretty good team. Well, Chad, they've got both.
And the conversion of the first one as well. If they can do the same here, I mean, they'll be off to a stunning second half, a 10-8 potential. Oh, sorry, a 9-8, because HellRaisers did get the bomb plant, but wow, what a round from Executor. What a save as well. That's such a difficult clutch. And you can see he's just ice cold. Angel runs back to connector, makes a lot of noise, shuts the door, runs back into B. And his intention from that, you can see when he runs back into B, he starts checking down pit. He's hoping that Executor is pushed back into the site. But no, Executor holds his face, sits at the back, and just waits for the bomb plant to go down. Takes a duel, and yeah, there we go. The rest is history. TYLOO, 8-8 here. We've got that one dropped AK to Issa. That's from Angel. And so he's looking to make some big opening kills here. Bondik on a Glock armor. I'd like to see that P250 on him instead, but either way, surely this AK can't save the entire round. Issa's has found one trade after letting DevFox go back in, and now he's found himself a second. He needs to give that gun over. He's so low. Issa's been finished off. The bomb's getting planted. Didi's still here on the barrels, and he's looking to put them in one. 2 kills and the third from Bentet. That's a nice round from TYLOO, but good couple of entries and a bomb plant from HellRaisers to get this by in the next round.
Yeah, I think the only person it ends up affecting is actually Angel. I think everybody else will have a comfortable buy. It also allows for a glass cannon AWP if they still want it. And I think Angel will be perfectly happy playing a UMP or something of the sort to allow the rest of his teammates to have utility. So I think that's a worthwhile trade-off. I think without the AK, there was no way they were getting the bomb down there. So it was a game plan from HellRaisers, and now they go into this round with what is a fairly decent buy. In fact, I would say we're kind of level in terms of the purchases on either side.
Yeah, far more utility though for TYLOO.
Only HEs though.
Hey, every bit counts, and no Molotovs on Angel or Issa, which is one detail, but not the end of the world. Yeah, enough to get around, right? Well,
for what is a third round buy, this is pretty damn good.
This is good. And considering the context of actually forcing up that AK in the second round, doing damage to money of TYLOO, that's why you can see Didi, somebody, they've got no money, Tom. They had to spend every penny in this round just to get guns, because Issa killed them both in the previous. This means that HellRaisers can easily, well, not easily, but easier put TYLOO back down to a reset scenario, put them back down to pistols. Executor playing close to the connector. There's a smoke towards toilets, but he can't play off the back of that because he's thrown in his Molotov. Executor doesn't want to stick around because he knows his players can encroach from the party position where he has no information, but he actually sits very close. That's the other option. Fall back or play on the edge of the smoke. He'll throw his own towards the left side of toilets, but there may be a gap there, and so he just decides to barrel back to the site. Not wanting to risk too much, him and Bentet.
Tees slowly making their way back towards the B side. Now, there's already multiple players, especially the sort of monster presence being held at the moment. And the thing is, if they go anywhere near this smoke, they'll for sure meet their demise. Look at the utility damage as well. Now comes the spray down. DD with all three. Said there needed to be a third player. Maybe it's going to be DD. Somebody as well, of course, doing the damage with his MP9. He always seems to get a kill with it. And Woxic has no real choice but to try and fall back, keep this AK in towards the next round. Now, there will be loss bonus starting to build up. 2,400 will go into their accounts. Well, everybody except Woxic, that is. So we may see a pistol or two behind it. However, he has no choice. Just saving.
Yeah. They can buy armor pistol next round. Again, we're going to have 4-round loss bonus after that, so HellRaisers can afford to put a bit of money into this one in the hopes that, yeah, next round should be fine to buy regardless. You don't need to heavy buy into this, though. And again, the only problem for me is that Woxic's now not going to have the money for the AWP, so either someone needs to save for him, or they're not going to have it. I wouldn't be surprised to see if someone just kind of gives up the next couple of rounds and goes for Glocks. It certainly won't be Bondic. He's willing to put in money. Issa the same. In fact, everyone buys, but we are early into this half. However, TYLOO have taken a significant lead, a 10-8 on the CT side. And we know their CT sides are better on this map, Tom, as you said. They're now fully rifled. No more SMGs. What do HellRaisers have here? Because again, only pistols, one flashbang across the entire roster. So this is a round where you're just hoping to catch a lucky couple of kills. But that won't be a good start.
Yeah, at least now it can go into the hands of Issa, who has been making plays. He got a couple of kills in the last round as the solo man with an AK. This is a round where TYLOO really want to try and make themselves some cash. Get the CT side rolling. And already been tapped. We'll add another to the death toll. Angel has found one back with the Deeg, the dirty Deeg doing damage. And Bondic has found that rifle once again. It's still falling hands. It seems to be Jinx, though. Anybody who picks it up seems to die without any response. Devfox playing the bait a little bit. That's really smart and gives Bondic a kill. Leaves it back into a 3 versus 3. 44 seconds left on the clock and still some weapons to be had. Now, bear in mind, neither Devfox or Angel has any armor. So the aim punch will definitely be prominent. They'll be shredded a lot easier by these remaining rifles. Angel just trying to sell a little bit of a fake, but again, I think we're just going to see somebody stay over towards this A side of the map.
It's just down to somebody. 15 seconds left on the clock. He just needs to stop this bomb from planting. But Bondic, he's only going to get dinked. Gets away with a frag. The one man with armor peaks, and that's so important. Winning that duel has allowed for the bomb plant and set HellRaisers up in a post-plant. Now a 2-on-3 retake. And although HellRaisers definitely have their own vices, they have Bondic low, they have 2 unarmored players, they do have the man advantage. DD coming in from the back line. Will he get peeked? He will. Double peek. DD. Oh my god, he gets away with a frag. Devfox didn't finish off the kill, only doing damage down to 50, and now he's got to win this fight, but Bondic's being baited from the back lines, and it's only Captain Mo. Spotted off the bomb. No need for HellRaisers to peek here. Devfox just gets a bit of information, tries to force a bullet out, and he's just going to land a headshot. Dear, oh dear. 3 kills for Bondic, 1 for Devfox, and that will be the round for HellRaisers. They bounce back with pistols. That was a 1-rifle round, Tom.
Yeah, that was just the rifle that was saved from Woxic in the previous.
And he died instantly.
Yeah, and so did Issa.
Yeah.
It is surprising. It was Bondic to actually be the one to drag them through the round, and where it was necessary as well. And all the fights he took, like every single one was valuable. He got that sort of peak. I will say Devfox set him up perfectly for that first one. The second one was the entry onto the side, which got the bomb down. And the third one was saving Devfox from being hunted down. So every single one, massive in impact.
Bondic's such a clutch player. I mean, even in these 1vx situations, he's without a doubt the best player for HellRaisers in there. But when Issa and Woxic are dead, this is a chance for Bondic to step up. DD now on the site, close Molotov towards the barrels. He's just going to avoid that. HellRaisers, do they continue with this push? Because if they do, yeah, this is just all a bait. That's why DD isn't taking any kind of fights here, because he wants Captain Mo to rain down death with his shotgun.
900 smackaroons for every kill that he gets with obviously the best weapon in the game.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
The XM. If you don't love it, you're wrong. And we will just see still the T's waiting outside this B site. Also going to be looking to clear out the connector. Somebody just about for Bondic. He'll stay alive. Still. playing this one nice and slow. They're waiting patiently. Execura does actually have an AWP. It might be a bit of a surprise considering the remaining weaponry that we have over on the TYLOO side to see this AWP in hand. A little bit of aggression coming out from Buntet as well. He wants to gather information up, especially with the clock beginning to tick so low. 30 seconds left, and that is perfect. Only the XM remains on the B site, and the AWP to rain death from above. Captain Mo, this is your moment.
Yeah, not too good. 18 seconds left as the plant comes in, and at this point it's down to TYLOO to do as much or a little damage as HellRaisers allowed them to. Execute should be saving, but I mean, if you're HellRaisers, you should be chasing here. You should definitely be sending a player off when you know that the AWPer is still alive. There's always that question mark of whether he has an AWP, and I'm sure Woxic wants it. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. I'm really excited. Something I saw announced by Bondik the other day is the WSG Team Ukraine team. I'm not sure if you caught that.
I think it's cool. I think...
For reference, for people who don't know, should we just give the roster? It's Bondik, Angel, Simple, Zeus,
Edward.
Yeah.
So pretty much just a mix of the HellRaisers and Na'Vi team. And yeah, well, it's pretty similar to what we saw last year. It's just I think they've replaced Markelov with Angel, which, to be honest, like, although you gotta love Markelov,
Of course.
but I think even though Angel is another in-game leader, which some people are questioning, I still think he's a better fragger. So I don't think there's any doubt that he should be there. It was a shame last year because I think actually Simple couldn't go in the end. It was just like too many tournaments, too much stress. So he actually ended up pulling out of WSG, and obviously that was after I believe they won the European qualifier. So it was a bit of a shame not having them there. Team Russia, however, they're like neighbors, managed to finish third, even though Flamey did pull out as well. So
Did Electronic go?
yes, he did.
And
I think that's where you have to give a massive shout out to Hooch for standing in like literally at the last second, and they finished third. So obviously some national pride there from him, and hey, they earned quite a bit of money off the back of that. So obviously the winners were Fnatic.
Yeah, over Space
Space
Soldiers.
Soldiers.
That was
the auto sniper fiasco, which wasn't a fiasco. He just used a gun in the game to beat people.
How dare he?
Oh my god! If he'd used a Negev, no one would have been complaining.
I think if you can win a grand final of $1 million tournament with a Negev, you earn that money yourself.
Yeah.
You know, that's a hard gun.
I think if you do it with Auto Sniper, you earned it. If you can't shut down Auto Sniper, that's not his problem. Buy one yourself.
Well, 11 to 10 for HellRaisers and a flawless anti-eco here. TYLOO, that's funny, right? Because Angel is the only one with an SMG there. TYLOO are on full USPs. They spot Angel after he gets one kill, and then they just go, nah, I don't want to give him any money, and they just hide. Honestly, we've been seeing so many teams start to do that on these ecos. Just stop giving the opponents money when they have SMGs. Just hold on to your guns. When you're on that CT side, it costs you nothing, you know?
If they don't push into like the stack that you've thrown in,
just save.
Then yeah, just save, because you retaking a site, even if they don't have SMGs, the chances are you're not going to get anything out of it. So maybe you get an extra $300, which I suppose in this case would have been nice. Maybe Captain Mo could have had a smoke, but it's just not worth giving so much money over. And the fact is, HellRaisers already have a lot of money in their bank accounts. The only man who doesn't is Angel. So, you know, don't give him any more as well. Minute 30, very early into the round. We do have Execura back on his AWP. Hasn't been so impactful in the second half. Like, he's actually been pretty quiet. So we're hoping that for the battle to continue, he will step up with the AWP.
This is only his second round with it, though, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's very early on in this half.
And on the previous round, they pushed B when he was on A, so he's kind of been avoided. It's similar to that.
Yeah, he got shut down like afterwards as well, so he didn't even get to keep it. But well, it looked like he may have some friends coming over for a little bit, or friends or foes. And, well, his one friend is gone, so it's left on to Execura. It is Glass Cannon, so he's got to be very careful, but he will be able to find that opening pick for his team. But look at Angel. He's going to try and cut him off. There is support, somebody aware of the potential, and Angel, after realizing, okay, Kevin's not alone, he sets some traps along the way.
Well, now at least HellRaisers have the info. There's two players on A. He knows that. Execute is still cordoned on long, and that's why he's throwing in these mollies. He's not behind dice, so either he's crossed and he's deep in CT, or he's still on long. So these HellRaisers players should be aware of this possibility, but the bomb goes in first. That's a free kill. Where's the utility for HellRaisers? It comes through, but he avoids it. It's still 1-for-1 peaks. You shouldn't give Execute this kind of opportunity, and they don't. They bait peeking until he dies. Angel finally kills somebody on the site, but by this point, Captain Mo's rotated. There's 7 seconds left. They're blind coming out of long. This part needs to happen, but DD's locking it down, and TYLOO win it by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, the thing is, those sort of bait peaks were great for getting the kill, but they didn't have enough time to do that. They needed to kill him within the first few seconds, and that position for Execute to defend is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't have had a chance. He was on his own. He had no team play at all. It was just him peeking one of the worst angles on overpass with an AWP.
And the weird part for HellRaisers is one player runs, he dies, and then the other two stop. And it's like, no, that's when you push. He's got an AWP. He can't kill you all. He can only kill one of you. If someone dies to an AWP, you instantly peek that AWP every single time. You should, assuming they're alone, right? And they knew he was alone after that one peek. You should instantly re-peek because you know you have about a second while he's cocking the gun. I don't even know what you call that.
To be fair, though, Kevins who are home alone sometimes do a lot of damage.
Oh, that's the trap. Oh, I get that one now. Okay. Nice line. Nice line. I like how you had to clarify it.
I knew you didn't get that, so I was like, let's make another home alone joke. Because there were 3 of them, so that means I have one.
Lost in Kiev. But TYLOO, they've not lost just yet. They're still 11-11. They've been putting up a massive fight here. Actually managing to come back despite HellRaisers' start to the CT side. But sorry, T side. Oh, Captain Mo, how has this happened? Angel switching weapons and he gets both kills and backs off as well. HellRaisers try and chase him down the long tunnel, but they are not going to be able to do that. Execute's posted on the door, but he needs to watch down lower because they're coming from the water. Oh, cheeky little boost.
Oh, Execute already going to pick off another and leave it into a 2v5. DevFox and Woxic. So much to do. Quite a bit of time to do it, but at the same time, they're in an awful scenario. Execute just going to be holding the angle onto shore. It looks like they're still going to try and make the play here. Now, the T's have a little bit of extra money. A bomb plant definitely wouldn't go amiss, but getting one when there's not only this orb, but there's 2 players over towards Monster as well. They are very much set up for this, and they don't even need the 2 other players. Execute is doing this alone. We said he needed to step up, and he has over the last few rounds, and he's going to shut things down in the end. DD will take a bullet for him, and that will be 4 players surviving for TYLOO. Now they start to build up the cash. And the T side, they have a buy, but there's going to be some holes in it.
And this is... the crazy thing is, right, I'm not worried for TYLOO at this point, right? They're 12-11 up, it's fine. But take into account, when it comes to rifle rounds, it's HellRaisers every single day. TYLOO won both pistols with conversions. That's 6 rounds. Without those pistols and conversions, it would be 11-6. Obviously, that's not how this game works, but when it comes to rifle rounds, HellRaisers have been doing the damage. Unfortunately, it's not just about that. HellRaisers need to win as many as they can, and they're down 1 right now with a CZ on Angel. He'll be playing fast in the connector with Bondic on support. Again, the AWP is back out for Woxic. HellRaisers slow pace in this round. We have a quad B early setup. When you see quad B setups on the CT side, it's very rare you keep it for this long because it's common that you would go quad B, wait for the rush. If there's no rush, then rotate a player off. But TYLOO are looking to commit with that, and it may be the right call after all. This bomb is certainly not on the B site just yet. And as these players rotate up connector, this early pressure on B from HellRaisers, especially DeadFox with his utility, is going to be cancelled out. He'll fall back to the spawn, and now this 2-man A setup could be the right call for TYLOO.
45 seconds left. The clock has played a part in a few of HellRaisers' rounds, and TYLOO have been more than happy to exploit it. They don't have a whole lot of utility left on the CT side, whereas Bondic still has a full stack, some Molotovs in hand, and Woxic even has an extra smoke. And Tech starts things off. This should be a one-and-done position. They're really struggling. He even hits a dink on the 3rd player. Bondic down to just 2 HP. And somebody is more than happy to just wait patiently to try and finish this off. Execute on the site itself again doing work with the AWP, but Angel will be able to shut him down. However, he is all on his own. 15 seconds, no control of the bomb, and DD will finish. 13-11. HellRaisers, this is not the time you want to be having an eco round.
This is crunch time for HellRaisers. Things are falling apart, Tom. You've got to take this eco and give TYLOO 14, but then you have to be flawless for the rest of the game. 5 rounds in a row will be needed. And for reference, no team this game has picked up more than 3 rounds in a row. Every single time a team has hit 3 rounds in a row, it's instantly been brought back. So...
Oh, well, look, we should hit 3 here. We'll see if they can get the 4th.
No, this will be the 4th. If TYLOO win this round.
You are correct.
So finally we're going to break the curse, but that's only a problem for HellRaisers. They'd love to bounce back in this round, but I can give you a little spoiler. I don't think it's going to happen.
I like how you still said don't think. I can give you a spoiler. It's probably not going to happen.
Well, I can't. I don't know for sure, Tom. Not from the future.
I am certain.
I am very, very confident.
I would place all my guesses.
Go over to LootBet if you think this round is going to be TYLOO's. Oh, you're too late. The money is gone. And now it's back for HellRaisers. 1 eco, a bit of a reckoning on that B site. And HellRaisers, they now have the cash back in their hands.
Is broken.
They don't have the rounds.
Combo breaker. Yeah, this is a tough situation. Now, bear in mind, the last time they played, it was an excellent CT half coming out from HellRaisers, and it was the T side that was really lackluster. Obviously, those two sort of go hand in hand. But, yeah, so we now look over at the T side of HellRaisers, and it is struggling at the moment. We've even seen a lot of players start to go a bit quiet. Woxic slowed down, Issa slowed down. They're the players you look to. Bondix had some killer rounds when needed, but the fact is it's like they're all sort of chugging along, and there's not been a star. There hasn't been like a diamond to really push this one through. That is, again, that's the wrong way around. Yep. It is TYLOO currently on 14 rounds. They are 2 away from going 1-1. Now, the thing is, I know this is obviously one of the most obvious pieces of analysis ever, but an 0-2 is so much worse. Like, it's 1 loss difference, but the fact is, you are then 1 map away from being eliminated from the whole tournament. That's it, you're out. And
let's take into account, both games HellRaisers have gone into, they have been the expected victor. They have been underwhelming so far.
Yeah.
Again, this game's not over. They can still win this game. It's HellRaisers, you know. Of all teams that could come back from this position, it is going to be HellRaisers, right? If TYLOO were 14-11 down, I might have lost hope by now, but we've just got to wait and see. But yeah, HellRaisers, they've so far been underwhelming, and that is a scary thing to say, considering their recent performance being so good. But maybe this will be the breaking point, the tipping point. This round certainly will be. Round number 26, 14-11 to TYLOO. 1 more to not only break the economy again for HellRaisers and put them down to about $3,400 a player, plus whatever they have, but also 15 rounds to TYLOO. At least a bomb plant is needed here, minimum here for HellRaisers. But even then, that's not satisfactory.
Yeah, that's to just be in the game, not even to start their comeback. And I think they need to start it now. They're playing for overtime. I don't think that's something that will really be in HellRaisers' mind at this point. Molotov going down so late again. It's the clock. I feel like the clock at the moment is a 6th member of this TYLOO side as we're down to the 30-second marker. Xcurate playing up close. Doesn't have his AWP in hand, but that seems like more of a choice. He's just going to be looking to try and avoid all of these players. He sneaks back through, finds 1 and a 2nd as well. I think he even got 3. Xcurate doing so much damage, and they're trying to put this to bed. But Tep will tap down Bondic to within inches of his life. He's got 15 HP, and he's got no time. Once again, as said, that time, that clock is part of the TYLOO side.
How the hell does he get 3 kills there? What on earth? That 3rd on the site is ridiculous. I was just about to say, how terrifying is that? Even if HellRaisers took the A site, you have 2 players up on short/toilets to lock down that long cross. TYLOO, 15-11. It's incredible how this isn't even looking close in the second half. HellRaisers got 3 rounds, but since then, it's just been a domination. TYLOO have been slapping these terrorists.
Yeah, Xcurate, 23-15. He has awoken once again. He's now on top of the board in the server.
And DD stepped up as well. You said you wanted somebody. It hasn't been him, but DD's certainly been having a bit of a game. 17 kills, just sitting behind that of Bentet. And now we have a 1-for-1 down on B. It's HellRaisers going for a desperation B rusher play that might be able to bail them out, but somebody's hit another shot. DD's cut off someone with a smoke on short, and that bomb's been dropped in the open. This is looking like a GG if HellRaisers can't dig themselves out of this rut, but spraying through the smoke is Pentet. Back to the AK. He's spotted Bondic, and he's finished him off. That's TYLOO with a huge upset up against HellRaisers. They may not have shown up on Inferno yesterday, but Overpass, a map they don't play, why not?
Yeah, that was a really good performance as well from them. A good T side. Chad said, well, sort of this team to be like great, they needed to start winning pistols. They got both of them. Both pistols won. Obviously that helped them quite a bit when it came to actually getting off the strongest starts in the half. And yeah, they just had the players they needed stepping up. And on the other side, okay, I'm not saying that Woxic and Issa had a bad performance, but they didn't have a standout performance. They didn't have the star performances we need for this team to like really do the real damage that we expect to see from a team that finished top 8 at a major.
Yeah, it's a shame to say, and especially falling off on that second half, right? Woxic and Issa, we saw Woxic on the first half on the CT side, especially when he first got that AWP, was getting plenty of proactive pushes, lots of picks, opening up rounds of HellRaisers, taking 5v3s. Even Issa doing the same when he pulled up that second AWP. But switching over to the T side, the money wasn't good, which certainly didn't help. But even when it was, we weren't seeing that same impact.
No, that's for sure. And now you look at the sort of hellhole that is 0 and 2. It's just madness. Either way, we're off to an interview. Take it away, Frankie.
I'm here with X-Curate from TYLOO. Now, yesterday in their match against ENCE, they didn't win a single game in their second half, sorry. But this time, a much more stable second half for you. How did you prepare for this match today?
I think like yesterday we don't have our confidence, and then we don't play our games. Like we really think too much. And then for this game, yesterday we practice a lot, and then we watch how, and then we already predict that we're gonna play overpass against them. So we watch how they play, and then we know like every time they didn't make sound in A, they're just gonna play B, and then we just like gambling to stack B every time. Like I think we read how they play. That's why.
So as quite an aggressive team, do you change your play style at all to match these EU and NA teams?
Yeah, like before we have a good practice with EU, Europe team, NA team, and then we compare like what's the difference against Asian team, and then now we know like we need to really work in our default, like how to get your map control, something like that, and then try to play with your confidence. That's it. That's what we got.
So are you feeling confident about your next match tomorrow then?
Sure.
And do you think that you can make it to the top 8 this StarSeries?
I think if we can play like before, although we lost, I thought we have a lot of mistake before, like maybe like some pistol run, we play too aggressive, although we have main advantage. I think we can be top 8 if we can fix that.
So maybe slightly less aggressive going into tomorrow then?
I think so.
We will see. Well, congratulations, X-Curate. We will see you playing tomorrow. As for you guys, we're going into our next 4 stages of matchups because all of these teams won their first game yesterday. And first up, it's going to be the Imperial versus ENCE Esports. So let us know who you think is going to best that match in Twitch chat right now. But I think we need to break down what happened between this incredibly close game between HellRaisers and TYLOO.
Thank you, Frankie. Now, with that said, of course, TYLOO have come out on top here in this best of 1, and it's kind of unexpected. It's not what you expected, but I will say I called it for what it was. Boys, what happened here? Why did this break down in the way it did on Overpass?
I mean, I think we saw TYLOO play up to the best right here on Overpass. I think we saw a TYLOO that we saw at the major as well. This, I wouldn't say uncontrolled chaos, but there was some rounds where you saw those individuals do their plays and actually being successful with it. And I think that threw HellRaisers off guard as well. On the other hand, HellRaisers not having their best game right now. They didn't look good yesterday. They definitely didn't look good today. So they're currently in some sort of like crisis, if you can use that word. They may be a little bit too big, but they're in a rocky period right now where they haven't really found the footing after the major.
Strange on a map that I was touting as, at least in my opinion, the
Their
one
best map,
yeah, Yeah, especially
it looked
on
good
that,
number-wise.
Well, especially on that T side, right? That T side, they're normally very methodical the way they can approach it. Here, they couldn't get anything going. And I think we have to look at the key factor in a best of one, right? The pistol rounds. Now, we talk about how important they are normally. In best of ones, I guess the severity is amplified. If you win them, if you win both pistols and you don't win the game, something has gone amazingly wrong. But here, TYLOO have won both pistols, and you have to give massive props to Xcurate winning that one-on-one on the CT side of pistol, and they converted both times. The fact of the matter is, in CSGO, it's not so easy to convert those pistol round wins, and here they've done it not only once, but twice, something which is characteristically an issue for TYLOO on a map which I consider relatively middle ground in their pool. So all of those factors, and then Xcurate going off with the AWP, you have to look at that as huge win conditions for these boys.
It kind of looked, at least towards the second half, we obviously see TYLOO switch over to the CT side. They grab the first 3 rounds. And yes, HellRaisers does bounce back with 3, but after that, it's pretty one-sided affair here. TYLOO's able to shut them down with a solid defense. And with that, I mean, the story's written as is. What do you got for us, Jacob?
No, I definitely agree. I think the HellRaisers players individually as well weren't really stepping up to the occasion they needed to in this game. I think Voxic had a decent game, getting a lot of first strikes. He was basically the only person that was securing them some CT rounds, getting a lot of first kills in the beginning with the AVP. So in that regard, he did well, but when he went to the T side, he didn't get a lot of job done with the AVP, and it was just a rough game for HellRaisers. It feels like to me that they're just missing that 5%. We often talk about it in Counter-Strike as the small percentage, right? And they're missing those extra % right now compared to how they were at the major.
Yeah, I think something interesting to note is where Xcurate's AWP kills came in. He wasn't used as the point man to open up a lot of rounds, right? He was actually getting a lot of frags in transition, or he was playing from a more passive position where the opening trades have already happened, and then he's picking up 2 kills, picking up 3 kills. But it was the perfect storm here. As you can see, Xcurate and Ben Tet, the most kills for their teams respectively, and we talked about them needing to be the star 2 players. On the other side of things, uncharacteristically, Voxic or ISA didn't take over the game, and they didn't really have an opportunity to do so. This is a map where bomb sites can get locked out. We know that rotations can be quite difficult, and for once, TYLOO were able to just, I guess, suffocate their opponents, because most of these rounds, especially on that CT side, were very concise, clear victories.
And it's a super good point that you mentioned about Xcurate. He's not even here on the top 5 entry frags. He only had 1 entry frag throughout the entire game, and he is that type of AVP player who likes to sit back and play the 3 versus 3 scenarios, play the clutch rounds. That's why you often see him making the clutch rounds as well work for a team like TYLOO, and that's very atypical when you look towards the norm of the AVP players today. A guy like Voxic obviously always in the face of people and trying to get those anti-frags.
I mean, looking at the numbers, they're not going to lie. You can see a lot of the numbers on your screen there. One thing we're not going to be able to see there, though, is the ADR, which is a touted stat line these days. People like to go with it, and I like to go with it too. But the reality is it's not all of what makes up for a match. Yes, it's important for a player to get a good amount of damage downrange. However, it doesn't account for all of it. However, with that said, Angel coming in with the highest ADR over at HellRaisers, locking it at 80, roughly 81% there. But other than that, I mean, it was the Bintet show.
Well, yeah, it was even on the HellRaisers side. And when we talk about Voxic and ISA are set up to be those stars, you need at least one of them to take over and have a very good game. Here you can see the AWP kills between Xcurate and Voxic, the 2 AWPers for each team. And look, that's a relatively even amount of frags there. I'm not going to say that one of them out-dueled the other, because they didn't actually feel like they had too many head-to-heads. But while Xcurate is on the screen, tweet from Peter, or Petter, depends on how you want to say his name, from HLTV.org. I love him regardless. He did a tweet saying Xcurate has the most 1vx situations won in the last 12 months on LAN. Now, keep in mind that TYLOO do play in lower tiers of Counter-Strike back towards their home. They are playing in more tier 3 type of tournaments. So some of those clutch situations would be coming out against weaker opponents. But he has actually, at the minor, at the major, he was winning a lot of those clutch situations, at least from my memory, and they're always impactful, right? A clutch is always going to have such a change of flow to a game.
Yep. I mean, it can swing momentum one way or the other, right? And we talk about the flow of a game where in which one of these rounds could have easily went in the way of HellRaisers, and given their favoritism on the map, it could have turned it around right around on its head at least.
Definitely. It was a 16-12 game, as you just highlighted. They won both pistol rounds. So if you exclude those and they also converted them, right, that's a 6-0 lead for TYLOO already there. So in terms of buy rounds and going up against toe-to-toe with weapons, they were pretty even throughout the game. So it was down to the down to the pistol rounds and down to the fact that TYLOO was a little bit more efficient with their economy and a little bit more efficient when it mattered the most.
Well, that does send HellRaisers to the 0-2 column.
Yeah.
Which is a strange place to be.
There's a lot of good teams down there now.
I've written them down here just in case anybody has missed it. At the moment, we do have Big, HellRaisers, Complexity, and Sprout all in that 0 and 2 position. So there are some, I think, you know, a matchup like Big versus Sprout and HO versus Complexity, they all seem like interesting games in my mind, but we have to see how it unfolds when the draw happens towards the end of the day. In the 1-1 position right now, Renegades, Optic, Vega, Squadron, and TYLOO. There will be 4 more teams joining them as we go through the winner matches later today.
And here it is, to paint an even clearer picture, HellRaisers, Complexity, Sprout, Big, sitting with the big goose egg and 2 losses.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're battling with your backs against the wall up through the Swiss system.
Here's a fun fact. HellRaisers, Complexity, and Big, 3 teams who were in the top 8 at the Face It Major.
Crazy.
Isn't that insane that at a tournament where the only, I guess, name that you'd consider a massive favorite here, or at least one to do a lot of damage based off the ESL 1 New York win, would be Mouse Sports, and then you have those 3 names who went in the deepest, a very deep run for themselves respectively at an event which is touted as being the biggest in the world, they're already in the 0-2 column. That's crazy.
Scary about it is that they haven't really faced any of those good teams either.
Yeah.
It's not like they lost to NRG or Big. Sorry, it's not like they lost to NRG or North for that matter, who could be considered the favorites. They lost to pretty, I wouldn't say average team, but like teams that they should be able to beat any given day of the week. And that's why it's to me this whole tournament as well, Starladder in particular, is so interesting because there are so many teams in the middle ground right now,
100%,
trying to break through and trying to get where Complexity and HellRaisers actually did do at the major, right? So it's a super tough situation for them to be in, and already now it's looking scary for not only one of the teams but already 3 of them.
Well, it's going to be looking even scarier as we continue down this path. We do have another best of 1 coming your way. This is the last one for me for the day, though. We do have Imperial and Ints, and you can watch your mouth. Anyway, Imperial and Ints are going to be squaring off here in a best of 1, of course, the 2nd round of the Swiss system. As we continue forward here at the Star Series I-League Season 6, jumping into that matchup when we come back. Go ahead and spam easy for Ints, because I know you want to. We'll be right back after this.
Loot Bet. With Hellcase multi-cases, you're no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.